It doesn't in the end doesn't matter if we recover or not. It's the signs that the team gave during the game, the beginning of the game. So I know that the best team won, the only team that was on the pitch. The best players lose because one team can win against any group of players, and I think that the team and the players spoke really loud today. So that's it, and we lost. The best team won.
The team and the players spoke really loud. What do you mean by that? Could you?
Yeah, I think it's really clear what they spoke. So let's move on from this day, and I think was really clear for everybody what happened today. About that, I just want to say I'm really sorry for the fans. The support that they gave me and the support that always, with all the defeats, that they helped the team today. Have nothing to say.
I think the point Phil's making about he doesn't want to talk about, there's certain games, chappers, where that almost becomes secondary, and if you're not prepared to do the basics, when he says my players spoke for me today or spoke with the performance, he's saying what I think a lot of us thought watching it. There's a group of players that turned up tonight, and when they started that football match, did not fancy being anywhere near this game tonight. You could see it in the body language, you can see it in the attitude. Grimsby got after them. Yes, of course, at no point in that first half did they match that intensity. Did they run? They lost their duels, sprint distances, and I think that's the point he's trying to make. I've put a group of players out there tonight that should be able to go and do a job, and they haven't done it. And it's because they didn't want to do it, in my opinion, and I think he's come out and said that. The system and the formation, for me, yes, should he tweak it? Should he give the players sometimes a better framework? But if you don't do the basics right against anybody, then you come unstuck. And that's what happened for me tonight.
We've had a really, really difficult night, tough night. I just think in games of football like this, when you play lower league opposition, if you don't do the basics well, you're going to come unstuck. And in a game like tonight, you can talk to me about tactics and systems and formations. Just you had to do the basics well.
But I can ask you about systems and formations, because even when the substitutions happened, even if they weren't like for like, so Mason Mount coming on or Xerxes coming on, they still kept the same formation and put round pegs in square holes, didn't they? I mean, Mount was left wing back at one stage.
Well, we was talking about it. So when he changed and put Mason Mount in that position, they still went with a back five, but they were building with a back five against Grimsby, who was sitting on the edge of the box. So your spare man was almost in build-up when you needed that spare man sort of further higher up the pitch to make an overload out wide or through the middle.
Well, how many times was that spare man De Ligt, for example, in that build-up? You know, he'd be the one joining in, and with the greatest respect to him, you should have an attacking player getting into the box, where a lot of the times it was a defender, an extra man. That it just seems crazy that he's so wedded to this formation at all costs and at any circumstance in a match, that he's almost forcing people into positions at whatever the state of the game is. It just seems absolutely baffling to me that there's just no flex at all, you know, and I just feel that that is definitely something, yes, application, understanding of what the game was about. I thought they were miles off it in that first half in particular, as if they rolled up today and just had no idea of what's going to be expected at Grimsby Town away on a wet Wednesday night. Very, very good value. Sometimes you look at these games and maybe see a scoreline and think, well, they haven't had too many opportunities. They've sort of against the run of play. Not at all. And particularly in that first half, they were absolutely fantastic. And again, we'll hear a lot about how poor Manchester United were. That only happens if you do your job as a Grimsby Town player. I'd love to hear that in terms of the mindset going into the game. Again, I see so much, and it really frustrates me when teams from lower down the divisions turn up to a game and think they're going to outdo Manchester United in terms of passing and possession. Go and get after them, make it a game that makes them uncomfortable, and they did exactly that.
Manchester United have suffered one of the most dramatic and embarrassing defeats in club history, losing on penalties to League Two side Grimsby Town after a 2-2 draw in the Carabao Cup. United trailed 2-0 at half-time thanks to glaring mistakes from goalkeeper Andre Onana, and it took goals from Brian Bumo and a late Harry Maguire header to rescue them. In the shootout, a 12-11 marathon ended with Bumo firing his second spot kick against the bar, sending Grimsby through and United home early. The fallout? Brutal. Fans were chanting for Ruben Amorim's dismissal before the final whistle, furious at his tactical decisions and even his decision to avoid watching the shootout. Relations between manager and supporters feel like they may already be fraying. United's performance was chaotic, lacking cohesion, composure, and leadership, only magnifying concerns after last season's dismal finish. Honestly, watching that was like living in an alternate universe. United, one of football's biggest clubs, were outplayed by a fourth-tier team. It's not just a bad result, it's a red flag. I worry that unless Amorim and the squad evolve fast, this could become the symbol of crop, not turnaround. Fans want progress, not excuses. This cup exit won't just cost a trophy, it might cost trust.